Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Alderman Workshop. It is April 24th, 2023. It is 5:30 p.m. And tonight we are going to discuss nonprofits. And we've got a whole list here. We also have some presentations from some different groups. So we're going to start off with those to bring each group up to the front and let them talk to us about what their needs are, why they need it. The board can ask questions. First, we're going to go with Jamie Craig with the United Way.
Good evening. First, I want to thank you all for letting me come and speak on behalf of the United Way. Wasn't really sure what to expect. I did bring some information that can I pass this out?
Yes.
Is that okay? I want to review it real quick with you. So just to start, you probably already know that the United Way works to improve the lives through financial stability and health and education, no matter the race or gender. We specifically submitted a grant request recently for the Imagination Library. You might be familiar with that, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So Dolly Parton started this program, and the United Way is the local sustaining partner for this program. So currently, our United Way is funding half of the bill for these books that are given to children from age birth to age 5. And we're paying about $1.04 per book per month. So our grant request was specifically asking for over $20,000 to cover our portion of the book bills for the city of Laverne children. I'll point you in the direction of this form right here. This shares exactly what United Way does for citizens in Laverne. So this information was derived from our previous campaign year, from July 2021 to June 30th, 2022. And you can see that there were 1,985 children in Laverne that were receiving these books. That's over 23,000 books that were delivered during that year. Also, you may be familiar with United Way working with partnering agencies. We created bold goals in 2019 to start in 2020. You'll notice that information I provided to you looks like this, bold goals 2030. So our community leaders got together and we came up with what's the most pressing issues for residents in Rutherford County and Cannon County. We came up with these 6 goals. You may know us well by providing monies to partnering agencies. I know some of them are here in the audience as well. So to be a partner agency, they request grant monies from us, and then we provide those funds to them if they were given those funds to help us meet our bold goals. So we have a listing of those agencies on the back of that page. So as long as they are performing and reaching these goals with us, then we're providing funds to them. Also, I'll share with you, we have a 211 service that services our area. If you call 211, anyone in the Rutherford County area and Cannon County area can get assistance, whether it might be housing. The numbers that we got for the Laverne City is 598 residents had contacted 211, and the number one reason for reaching out to 211 was for housing. We have a single care program, and we saved individuals in Rutherford County over $1 million. I've utilized the single care prescription card and have saved that. My numbers are in this grouping as well. You're probably familiar with volunteer income tax assistance. We actually just got our numbers in since this tax season is completed. We serviced 305 individuals in Laverne City, and that saved we brought back $500,000 into this community for Laverne in the way of taxes and saving them some money in fees. So the United Way can turn $1 into $14 based off our donors and all our volunteers, which is I think a pretty good investment. Also, you notice at the bottom right-hand corner, we've serviced 2,368 individuals in the Laverne area through our mental health and substance abuse partners. Also, for the financial stability, we serviced 3,090 individuals in Laverne. And in early and childhood development and healthy habits, we serviced 128 individuals. Right now, we have 35 partner agencies, and that's all I have to present to you all. Would love to answer any questions if you have any.
Can you go into more depth about the housing?
In regards to how we assist those housing. So for example, I'll give you my example. I actually was a recipient of services through the United Way. In 2016, I was in a bad spot, so I called 211. I had a great family, great church family, but I didn't want to talk to them about my issues. So I called 211. I needed housing assistance. I needed some counseling. So that 211 service, just that one program, put me in contact with several of our agencies that help with funding that type of issue. Does that answer your question?
So anybody can just call the 211, it's like 911, just call 211, and it'll go right to y'all.
It doesn't come to us. So we have a call center, and it's staffed 24/7. Anyone can call the 211, and they just give the individual a brief description of what the issue is, and they provide them a listing. For example, I got about 10 agencies that was able to help me out. So
My sister worked for United Way back into the 70s when they were down in Mayuna, down in the little hole there.
okay. I don't remember that time. And I remember when we were in the building that now is housed by the Red Cross. So that's about as far back as I can remember.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple, and probably just curiosity. $20,962. That's such an odd amount.
So if you look at the grant, the request that I sent in, the payment that the United Way pays per book, so it's 12 books a child a year, is $1.04 per, and that includes the delivery. So when you take the amount of children, which currently I believe it's 1,677 individuals or children that are enrolled in the program, multiply that times 12 times 1.04, then it comes to that amount.
And you talked about the books, so what happens to the books after the fact? They just keep them forever?
We also have, for example, an event coming up called Stuff the Bus. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but the community gathers books, gently used books, can purchase new books if they want to, provide them to us during a drop-off gathering day, and then we provide those books to the local schools.
And does the United Way, do they ask businesses for donations or help or anything throughout the city?
So currently, the United Way, we're funded a lot by the workplace campaigns. Other fundings, we have events and we do sponsorships. Specifically for the Imagination Library, as an example, our event we had this weekend, it's called the Storybook Breakfast. And we had book characters come, and there was a reading time and craft time. So any funds raised for the Imagination Library goes completely towards those books and the book bill.
All right, I'm done.
Ladies, do y'all have questions? So what prompted, because I know this is the first time we've got any kind of request from the United Way, so what prompted the request this year?
So I'm new to my role. I've been with United Way for 4.5 years. Was in the accounting department, finance director. So I just recently moved over to the resource development role, and I'm currently, my title is Assistant Vice President of Corporate and Workplace Engagement. So it's my job to get corporations involved and to seek funds through grants and sponsorships.
Okay. What other Laverne businesses are involved with this at all?
So, for example, Bridgestone is one of our huge supporters. They actually just signed on with us to let us work with their employees through a program that's listed in your flyer called Launch Point. So Launch Point is a program where if the company signs on like Bridgestone did, we have staff, social workers, that will work with the individuals if they make below a certain income level and provide them with resources, and they can meet with a coach once a month for 18 months. So that's one example of partnerships here in Laverne.
Okay. And what happens if you aren't funded? What happens to this program?
That's a good question. We haven't been in a spot where our funds have gotten really low. Everybody loves Dolly Parton and the Imagination Library. I would say if funding decreased, that we'd have to reevaluate how we handle the program, for sure.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So next, we're going to jump over to the Child Advocacy Center. Ms. Sharon DeBoer.
I'm Sharon DeBoer. I've been employed by the Child Advocacy Center for the last 23 years, and we come and talk to you all every year. And actually, the city of Laverne was the very first one of the cities and the county that supported us financially when we first started. And that's a big part of why, is because we work so closely with law enforcement, and law enforcement has been very supportive. What we do at the Child Advocacy Center, we have 3 main programs. And the first program is child sexual abuse. We work with Department of Children's Services. Every referral of child sexual abuse in the county goes to Department of Children's Services by law. And they contact the Child Advocacy Center, they contact Laverne Police, they contact the District Attorney's Office and notify us all every time there's a new child sexual abuse case or a severe physical abuse case. And what we do then is we schedule an interview with that child, and our staff are specially trained to respond to child sexual abuse cases, to interview that child. And what we're trying to get at is the truth. What has happened to this child? We would never want to send a child home who wasn't safe to go home, but we also would not want to falsely accuse someone, because you can ruin their lives. And so we work very closely with law enforcement, with Department of Children's Services, and the District Attorney's Office to respond to these cases. We interview the child, and then one of our staff works with the parents to see what kind of resources they need. Does the child need a forensic medical exam? Do they need to go to counseling? Are the parents struggling with this issue and they need to go to counseling? You know, what does this family need to try to heal from this? And what we find is that law enforcement, particularly Laverne Police Department, do an outstanding job on these cases. They have, from day one, done an outstanding job, and we're very proud of our team and the people we work with every day. The District Attorney's Office, we have so many cases in Rutherford County, we are probably giving them between 50 and 75 new cases to review every month. And those are all coming from across the county. And those are new cases, not cases we've ever had before, new cases. Then we also have a drug endangered children program where we work with parents who have been reported to Department of Children's Services as having a drug problem. and we work with those parents to try to help them get off drugs, and we work with children to try to stop that generational cycle of addiction. You know, it's very traumatizing for a kid to grow up in a home with parents who are doing illegal things and using drugs and basically not taking care of them. And then we have a prevention program where we're trying to educate parents how to prevent children from being sexually abused and what kinds of things to watch for so that they're not allowing someone around their child who could harm them. And I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Durham, and he's going to talk about how we work with the police department.
Mayor, Alderman, most of y'all know me, Supervisor Criminal Investigations Division. We have a great partnership with the CAC. Basically, you don't want to interview a child too many times. So what the CAC is able to do is audio, video record, and interview, which helps us in presenting that case, because multiple times, multiple interviews of children is bad, so you don't want a detective to interview, then they interview, and then somebody from the DA's office. It's one set interview, it's recorded, and it's played for everybody to see in court if it's needed to be. So the CAC has had a great partnership with us over the years. I don't think we could do it without them. So it's a blessing to have them, and we want to continue that partnership. So any questions for me on my side of understanding what our partnership is?
Gentlemen? Ladies?
On my piece of paper, there's nothing there. I'm assuming they're asking for the same amount.
There's 2 spots that are listed on here, and so you've got the 8,000, and then you have another 8,000 further down. Now,
And 8,000 would be from the city of Laverne, and the other 8,000 would be from the Laverne Police Department Drug Fund,
right.
because we work with those families that have drug issues.
Now, the one question I will ask, because I've been up there, and I think y'all recently moved.
Yes, we have moved. We were in a City of Murfreesboro building for over 20 years, and it was falling down around us, if you want to know the truth. And I think the city got concerned they had a liability risk if it fell in on us. And I actually dreamed one night that it fell in on us like the Corvette Museum did. And so we moved, and we are now renting office space in Dr. Garner's building, and he's graciously offered to give us a reduced fee for that. But one of the things, we're asking for a little more money because we're asking for $1,000 more because we have to pay rent and utilities for the first time. And so it's like a teenager growing up. We're having to pay rent now, you know, and so we need a little more help.
And you do work with all of the municipalities, this isn't just a Laverne.
Yes, and we're asking for funding. What we did was we looked at how much we needed, and then we looked at how many children come from Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, the county, and we divided that equally because we felt like that was the most fair.
What's your success rate, Detective, with this kind of, as far as, overall?
If you
I
get
think
it,
the success rate is improving
yeah.
by leaps and bounds. The very first year before we existed, they successfully prosecuted 3 cases. Now they are reviewing 50 to 75 cases a month. It works for us to work as a team and to work together. And the district attorney's office has been 100% behind it. And they have supported law enforcement, they've supported us, they've supported Department of Children's Services, and they have 2 prosecutors now. We have so many cases.
Used to have one.
Yeah, we had one for years. But, the county is growing by leaps and bounds, and I'm sure you all know that better than I do. But what we're seeing is just increasing numbers. And when you help people, then that word spreads. And so when a family starts having trouble, somebody else says to them, they help me at the Child Advocacy Center, the Child Protective Investigative Team helped me, and people are much more willing to reach out for help, when they've heard other people say they were helped. But they are aggressively prosecuting it. And the reason they're so successful is we have good law enforcement. Every time you all have given us people, they've been good. And we're very grateful for that.
What percentage of
Ironically-
your,
Oh, sorry.
what percentage of your cases are from Laverne?
Last year, it was 6%. The year before that, it was 16? The year before that. So it really varies from year to year.
Sure.
And a lot of that depends on how many people teachers are referring. When we saw it go from 16 to 6% last year, what we're trying to do is get into the school system more next year to educate teachers about reporting so that they know what to look for.
On average, I get 2 to 3 referrals a week from DCS, which then in turn, we have to meet up with the CAC and do interviews. I got 2 today, just ironically, 2 today, drug exposed and a sexual abuse case that will be investigated too. That will utilize their services as well. So.
Any other questions? Thank you, dear.
Thank you all. We are very grateful for all of the support you've given us for years and for the good police department you've given us.
Next, we're going to have the Laverne High School Band. Mr. Callahan.
Mayor, Alderman, thank you for the invitation, along with Board 2. My name is Rontrell Callahan, and I'm a proud employee of Rutherford County Schools. It's an honor to be the band director at Laverne High School. I stand before you to see if the city of Laverne can assist with purchasing concert band uniforms. Many of our students do not have formal dress attire, such as their Sunday's best, for our concerts. I'm looking forward to expanding our concert band and wind ensemble to perform in various venues. First, I want to talk about some of the achievements that we had in our band programs under my leadership. Concert band and wind ensemble has received superior ratings in the last 7 years. Superior rating is the highest rating that a band can receive in a concert band setting. We also perform at Tennessee Music Education Association State Festival. This was the first time in school history since 1988 the band program has performed on the state festival level. Invited to perform at Tennessee School Board Association. This TSBA is among all superintendents across Tennessee, and your Laverne High School Wind Ensemble performed there, representing the city of Laverne and our school. This is my first time saying this openly. We also been invited to perform at Carnegie Hall. This will be the first band in Rutherford County School to perform at Carnegie Hall, and also the second band in the state of Tennessee to perform on this prestigious level. So we have to look our best, and also we always play on our best. The concert band Wind Ensemble travel and perform in various venues, honor band, concert festival throughout Middle Tennessee. Laverne High School Band is growing year by year and is highly favored by the community, by the school, and by its peers. The concert band is an integral part of the instrumental music program at Laverne High School. The marching band, which many of you all know about, perform at many parades, many events and football games, and they also support the athletic activities. But what about the concert band, the Wind Ensemble? The Wind Ensemble concert band provides members with the community with highly qualified symphonic band literature, symphonic band music. Again, I'm requesting financial help to purchase concert band uniform for our band students. The following page, which I have just maybe 6 copies, you can see the total amount. All right, again, I'm just requesting financial help to purchase concert band uniform for our band students. The following page that you will see a budget for our coming year regarding concert band uniform estimated costs. All right, you will find a more detailed list of every budget item and the cost of each item. With this budget, the band can continue to grow, improve, and provide great musical opportunities as well as quality education while looking and sounding their best on the stage. To support a program with hundreds of high school students and percussionist students that also play percussion instruments with a quality music experience comes at a cost. We need the support from Laverne City to achieve our goal with purchasing our concert band uniform. In the audience, I also have my principal and I have other, my band booster organization to help support me as well, along with the band program that we have at Laverne High School. I'm open for any questions that you may have.
Well, first I'll ask, does the principal or your band booster chair want to say anything to the board?
I'm sorry, so that repeat that again.
Does the principal or the band booster chair want to say anything to the board?
Oh.
Thank you for having us this evening and listening to our request. You'll see that Mr. Callahan's also with two other teachers. And I guess one thing to just note is typically the program would fund itself. So the students would normally, pay the cost that we need for specific things for sports and extracurricular. We do try to keep our cost at a place where students can participate, and that's in band and sports and all of those types of things. So you may be wondering, fundraising is one thing. That's why we kind of sought out the city. We were told that the city may be willing to assist with some of these things, but our goal is that students can participate and there aren't barriers such as finances that limit their ability to be a part of these programs. So that's one of the reasons we're hoping to maybe receive some funds from you all. So we appreciate you guys considering us, and if y'all have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer those.
Okay.
Over the years, I knew some kids that was in Laverne band, and it's expensive if you got a kid in the band. It's expensive, and y'all have always had a super, super good band there, and we're proud of you.
Thank you.
How many kids do you have participating in the program?
Yes, I currently have 85 students in the program now, from 9th grade through 12th grade.
Okay. Do you have any corporate sponsors at all from our local industry?
No, we don't have any sponsors at the moment, no.
Okay. And then what about the band boosters?
Band boosters don't have any corporate sponsors as well, but they can also come up and speak.
Thank you for having us. My name is Ashley Jackson. I'm the current band booster president. Just to kind of piggyback off what Mr. Callahan said, a lot of our funding and things come from the children themselves. The band boosters, we do assist in quite a bit, and like you said, we do not have any any corporate sponsors. If you don't mind, I wanted to read just a little bit of an email that I had sent out for some support. So again, my name is Ashley Jackson. I'm the current Laverne High School Band Booster President. During our booster meeting this week, we found out that we can possibly get some help. The Band Booster Program is different from the actual band itself, but we do support the Laverne High School Band, and we are hoping we can count on the city for support. This school year, there's been a lot of changes throughout the year that require the band boosters just to take on a little bit more financial responsibility to help out with the band. Even though our majority focus is marching band season, the the Laverne High School Band Booster members assist in band in different ways. We do receive our primary funds through the booster program from members and non-members, such as parents, volunteers, things like that. We sometimes get donations from family and friends, but they're limited as well. We support the band during the season. We pay for things such as rental fees for trucks and stuff to support and get the band to and from competitions. We also provide food for the students. We understand not everybody can pay and get breakfast, lunch, or whatever, so we provide those things as well. We also help and assist Mr. Callahan in anything that the band may need, such as uniform fittings, things like that, if they're not covered. We also assist the seniors with gifts and incoming senior 8th graders who will be coming to the high school as well. There are quite a bit of things that we do, but we have not been able to receive any corporate sponsors, even though we've reached out, written, went to different places just to get donations, but unfortunately we've been unsuccessful. Yes, so outside of what we get from the parents that we ask, most of it is from things such as selling food and things at the high school games, stuff like that. And sometimes snacks and things at concerts. But other than that, if we don't get anything, it comes from us, the boosters themselves. So we definitely do enjoy supporting the students. Our students, our band students are awesome. They work hard, they're dedicated. So they're definitely our motivation as the boosters to assist them. But anything that we can get to help the band or the boosters would be great. Thank you.
Does anyone?
So out of the 800 businesses approximately that's in Laverne, you've reached out to them and you've not had any?
I have a really good guy that helps out with, that's one of our boosters. He's went to Chick-fil-A, he's went to all the restaurants. We've done Bridgestone. We're actually looking at the BJ's. We're hoping that maybe that they will come on. We have written letters, went places. We get a lot of, we'll get back to you, or this is corporate, or this is local, just different things. But we haven't gotten anyone to support us at all.
I'm not shocked about it, because when I used to try and raise money, I had businesses that wouldn't even donate $100 to help a kid. So I'm not shocked about that, but out of 800. So you talked about fundraisers. What kind of fundraisers do? And let me ask you while we're asking these questions, so you don't think we're being hardcore. We're dealing with citizens' money. A lot of them don't have children. A lot of them don't care about that, because they're taking their money. So that's the reason that our decisions have to be based that way. But anyway, what you're talking about fundraisers, what all do you do? Because I know I used to see them out, the band, quite a bit, especially in the spring and summer, doing car washes and all kind of things.
Yeah, so previous years we have done several car washes, but because of COVID, 2020 hit, we kind of put the car wash to a halt, so we stopped doing the car wash now. If you look around, they're building car washes now, so students we got to find another way to raise funds. But besides that, many of our fundraisers come from the football game through the concession stands. We also have fundraisers that the students can buy snacks during the concerts. The boosters, they will have baked cookies and goods, things of that nature. They can sell cookies like $1, things of that nature. But the majority of the fundraiser come from the football game concession stands.
Do they work the Titans game and things like that?
No, we haven't worked the Titans game since I've been the director. No.
Because I know that's a big. Any events downtown that parents go down and work and serve chips and hot dogs, beer, whatever, they get quite a bit of money.
Okay.
And then my last question is, how, and this would probably be for the principal, is how has the county come back to you and told you anything?
Typically, we're, self-sufficient when it comes to athletics and those types of programs, and it's heavily looking at fundraising for each of the programs. We do have like a general athletic fund, which would be a percentage of the gate would go to the general athletic fund, but those funds should be allocated equitably across the sports. So we would get a percentage from the football gate and things of that sort, but that may be lights are out, and those are $295 an hour to fix, or things like that. Those are some of the things we might use, or if some major issue happened in the gym, so those general athletic funds would be for things like that. So when you look into specific sports and clubs, you just need to be fair across the board with what you're providing each team. So typically, you're relying on fundraised funds to support those programs. And that would be a portion of the gate. That would be a part of it as well. So it's those highly attended events, whereas band doesn't necessarily have a gate and things like that. So they do a lot of work with our concession stand, and I think that would be the majority of the money that they receive.
So band's considered sports? It's not musical arts, mind you, this is 20 plus years ago.
They get an allocation, but the allocation is for instructional. So there is a county allocation that they receive, but that would be for instructional purposes, not necessarily like uniforms and things like that. So instruments, musical pieces, things like that. So the county gives every school an allocation.
It's 7,000.
Yeah, 7,000. So he would usually replace instruments and things like that with that money.
Okay. That's for materials and instruments. That's not for uniforms.
Instructional things, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kara, Carol, y'all got anything?
I do. You said you have about 85
Yes.
members. Is that on a tryout and then you become a member, or are there more that want to join, or how do you come around your 85?
So 85, these are students that are in a band class. These aren't students that's not in the band class, but students that's been assigned to either a concert band, wind ensemble, percussion ensemble. So we have a total altogether 85 students.
And the selection would be kids who sign up for band, basically. And he obviously recruits at the middle school and things like that.
I was in the band in high school and we had like 300. Oh, a lot. That was years ago too.
But a lot of schools do have that number.
Yeah. Okay. And I've seen y'all, at the football games and in the parades, and y'all are good. You're really good.
Thank you.
How would the clothing work year over year too? Because of course your team is going to change each year, I would expect.
Yeah, so the uniform, they will stay in we have a storage area that we can store the uniform, the tuxedo, the uniform for the girls, and they will just keep resizing them every year. So pretty much how we do our marching band uniform, we store our marching band uniform beginning of the season. They try them on. They keep the same uniform year after year. The following year, we'll resize them again, so that way, some they fit, larger or smaller than the previous uniform. So regarding storage, we will store them. I will store them, so that way we can keep reusing them year after year. And that's the process that many high schools in the county, that's how they do it too.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, next we're going to go to Laverne High School Wrestling. We've got Coach Aiken and Dr. Hatchett it's got down.
Hello, my name is William Aiken. I'm a first-year teacher at Laverne High School, and the first year, obviously, as the head coach there. We had heard that we could ask the city of Laverne and for some assistance. And the one thing I was really hoping at the beginning of the season that I saw that the team needed was at least one new mat, preferably two. And the reason for that is, if anybody's ever been around wrestling, you've seen the old style mats roll up. Those weigh anywhere from 400 to 500 pounds apiece. Each mat is typically cut into 3 sections. Each section weighs 400 to 500 pounds apiece. We have a mat and a couple extra pieces in our upstairs wrestling area, which we have a great wrestling area. There are schools in the county that have to move tables in the cafeteria and then roll their mats out and practice there, and then move the mats back out and put the tables back down. So we're very blessed to have an area, and our mats can stay down all the time. It's easy to have them cleaned. It's out of the way. We don't have to worry about students messing up the mats, walking on them. When you're wrestling, you have to worry about skin conditions and things like that. So you have to keep them clean and mopped. So that's great. But the mats that we have are those old style mats, again, 400 to 500 pounds apiece. And to get them from, we can't hold a wrestling the size, we couldn't hold a wrestling match in the wrestling area. It's not big enough for that. A full mat wouldn't fit the correct way. And so we would have to take those mats down a set of stairs. That's right by, it's right there. It's a 90-degree turn to get these 400 to 500 pound mats down the stairs. And then we'd have to take them to the aux gym or the big gym to set them up. That part is fine, but moving those mats up and down the stairs, I've done that before, not at Laverne. And you need 10 to 12 people on each section of mat. The stairs that we have are a normal set of stairs. 2 people can cross, no problem, but 2 people on either side of a mat and you're linking arms underneath it, it's I don't feel it's safe. I know they've done it in the past. I've talked to people who've done it in the past. They said, yeah, we used to do that and it wasn't safe. Fortunately, nobody was ever hurt. but I just have not felt it was very safe to move the mats up and down those stairs. In the county, we have a person who is assigned as the safety director for the different sports. The wrestling director came out to me one day during the season. I asked him the question. He's like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea either to move them up and down these stairs. It's the only way in or out. So what I was asking for, and we actually have got some assistance. Smyrna Ready Mix, fantastic. My assistant coach reached out to them. We've reached out to some other organizations. They agreed, and we've ordered what's called a flex roll mat. It has the Smyrna Ready Mix emblem on the mat. It was over $14,000. That'll come this summer, and that's fantastic. We now get a mat that these mats are cut different or made different. They're light enough that you or I, really any of us, could pick one section up. They're a little too big to kind of maneuver around by yourself, but you can pick them up off the ground. So it's much, infinitely more times safe. I said that wrong, but to move them up and down the stairs, and much more feasible to have home matches. And that's one of the big ways that wrestling teams do fundraising is home matches. You know, the gate concessions, things like that. And also another big area that a lot of wrestling teams make money is tournaments. And you really need to have minimum of 2 mats for a tournament. And even then, usually, if you're going to hold a tournament, you'll want 3 or 4. If you have 2, you can ask another school. Stewart's Creek has done it, and other schools have done it where they'll transport a mat over, and they'll be able to wrestle in that tournament without paying the entry fee. Because in wrestling, you know, the dual matches where it's just my team, another team lined up, we roll the weight classes out there and they wrestle, those happen. But the tournaments is where the kids get a lot of their matches. We're allowed to have 55 matches a year before the postseason. But because of a lack of fundraising, because we've done some fundraising, but because we don't have the ability to have home matches, we haven't been able to raise the funds in order to enter as many tournaments as we would like. In the postseason, my team, guys and girls, had 15, maybe 20 matches at the most. And they're going out and wrestling kids in regions and sectional tournaments that have had 45, 50 matches. So it's putting them behind the 8 ball. So we have the mat coming from Smyrna Ready Mix. And I'll be here this summer. And that's great. We can have home matches. And we were able to have one home match this year because Rockvale, in our spring meeting last season, I was talking about it. I didn't ask. He volunteered. Hey, we'll bring our mats over so you can have a home match. That was amazing. And I give them all the credit for that and going out of their way to do that. We were able to have a senior night, which they haven't had in a while. So that was really something, I think, for my wrestlers to be able to wrestle in their home gym. Their parents didn't have to travel far. Teachers, friends were there, things like that. It went really well. So I'm really looking forward to having more of those next year. We have 3 on the schedule already. Hopefully, if we are able to get another mat, we can host a tournament once a year to raise some extra money. In the fundraising part, we have a fall festival celebration day. We raised some money there. We did a fundraiser night at Freddy's Restaurant. We raised a little bit of money there. The car wash we were going to do fell through. We raised a little bit of money at the home match, which is good, you know, and again, having those mats will enable us to do that and raise a few $100s a couple times this season for that. And with another mat having a tournament, you can increase that quite a bit. And we've reached out, like I said, Smyrna Ready Mix has purchased us a mat. And I also reached out, I don't have it with me, but I sent a letter to the mayor's office, a fundraising letter written by my 2 of my captains this year. And they talked about, you know, liking having the home matches and how that made them feel more like a team with the support from the school right there and everything like that. And we used that same letter, so we contacted Smyrna Ready Mix. I've contacted the Tennessee National Guard. They've are still considering it, I guess. There's also an organization called the Middle Tennessee Wrestling Officials Association. They were the first group I reached out to. They agreed and they said, we would love to help you out and get you guys a mat that you could have home matches on. When we had our home match this year with Rockvale, the referee, who I've known for 7 years, he's like, yeah, this is the first time I've ever been here to Laverne High School because we didn't have home matches very often. But their association has agreed to cover the cost of half of a mat. And depending on timing and things like that, the mat from Smyrna Ready Mix, we got a few extra bells and whistles on that. Like I said, that was over $14,000. An additional mat, if we were able to do that, that one is, some of the things on it are a little different. It would be cheaper, it'd be closer to like $11,000. And, you know, and of course, the Middle Tennessee Wrestling officials have pledged to pay for half of that. If we can't do that, you know, any amount would help. One of the things that, you know, I had to purchase some singlets this year, uniforms. One of the things that we didn't have that most other teams have is warm-ups. That would help. The team would feel like a team. It would help with recruiting. You know, when we're going out there warming up, I have guys wearing T-shirts and sweatpants and stuff like that, whereas the teams they're facing are all wearing the same color, school insignia, and all those types of things. I did have a team fee this year. You know, and you have a team fee and you want the guys, the students to pay it, but at the same time, I'm not going to say you're not on the team if you don't pay the team fee. I don't think that's fair to them either. I don't know all their situations. I had a lot of my wrestlers, the guys and the girls, we have both sides, are working during the week and missing practice because of that kind of thing. So I couldn't do that to them, but you know, with some of those funds, if we can raise the money, have an additional mat, maybe host a tournament occasionally, maybe have team warm-ups, that kind of thing, build unity. They can be wrestling at their school, their classmates can see them, teachers can see them. I think it would really help how they felt about what they were doing a lot and help with recruitment and all those things. And they would get all the benefits that I feel that you can get from the sport of wrestling, so.
Any questions?
Yeah.
One of the, and I'm certainly not trying to tell you how to do fundraisers, but it sounds like from what the principal said is you and the band and everybody's in some kind of collective group from the county. Is that a fair statement?
I'm sorry.
You said it was all part of athletics, so wrestling and the band, all the sports are kind of a collective money thing, splitting the money or whatever.
When it comes to general athletics. So
General athletics, there you go, I'm sorry. Have you all ever came to us and asked about doing what's it called, a fund drive, Bruce, at Stones River? What we
Got
call
a
it?
roadblock?
Yeah, a roadblock. I mean, those people, those kids and stuff stand up there from like 9 to 3 on a real pretty Saturday, and they make $4,000 or $5,000. So though, I'm just throwing it out there because obviously we've got a lot of nonprofit stuff here, not to mention all our other budget stuff, and we got a pretty good sized budget. I'm glad you got the money from Smyrna Ready Mix.
Yes.
I hate that it's taken a Smyrna business to give you that when we have so many businesses here in Laverne and very well-to-do, prominent people, and they don't want to help.
Well, this is my first year, you know, and I was see what we had for the wrestling team and learned about the best way to go about it, or a way to go about it. There are lots of other opportunities to explore. This just happens to be one of the first ones that I've tried. And then, you know, Smyrna Ready Mix, I know it's Smyrna, but it's close. It's the same county, same district, and we are very grateful.
Listen, they
Right.
do a lot of sponsoring for a lot of
You know, and
communities and everything.
There's a procedure at school for making the fundraiser request and how to go about it and things to be approved. So I'm certainly open to any ideas. The roadblock, I'd have to find out some more about that and figure out how that worked and if that's allowed through the school and the county and whatnot. But that's definitely something I would be willing to look at, any ideas or anything that, as a city, that you guys would want my team's involvement in if it
Have
meant.
schools did that, Bruce?
With a roadblock?
Might be a liability for kids to be
Can't
on the
think of
road.
any off the top of my head. We do have regulations in place that I think you have to be at least 18 to stand out in the
Well,
road.
what I'm saying is if it's just the parents or the boosters,
If we have, it hasn't been recent.
Typically, it's the Shriners we have out there.
yeah, but
Who buys and pays for the uniforms?
Well, the uniforms that we purchase, they purchased some last year, and for various reasons, not going to get into that, we didn't get them all back. But that was purchased through the team fee, I believe. This year, we were able to do a little bit of fundraising, and I also had a team fee, and I needed to replace some of those singlets. You have to have a singlet to wrestle.
Why I asked that, I wrestled in school. It'd been 50 years ago, and I just couldn't remember off the top of my head who furnished the uniforms.
Yeah, it depends on however the school district does it, but, we have to fundraise for that, and, we were able to have enough to make sure I have
SM
enough singlets for a couple of years.
SRM is a good company, and they do have a satellite company in Laverne on Walden Road. So they might be Smyrna Red Mix, but they located all over
Yeah.
the world now, I think.
I was, like I said, I was very grateful, and then, there's been several places that people, and we've reached out to Laverne businesses as well. I know my assistant coach has as well. We've heard back from some and not from others. So we are working with the ones that we've heard back from, and hopefully we'll hear back from others as well. And again, as next year gets here, we'll do more things as I'm learning what we're doing. We'll do another fundraiser night at Freddy's if I'm allowed, and we'll do a car wash and the fundraisers at school that we're allowed to do and things like that.
I see on
It's
this
just,
paper,
without having the home matches and the tournament, a team fee of $150 is, that would be I don't know how many years it would take, paying all the other expenses to get to the point where you'd be able to stock enough away to afford a wrestling mat. And where we could have one, which, again, fortunately, we have one coming, but where you could have that and have the home matches and the tournaments and build up that sense of teamwork.
I see that this is the first year y'all come in front of the city of Laverne to ask for money. Well, what's the main reason y'all come? To just the high expense, or just?
I don't want to. It was just suggested that this was a place that we could come and look and talk to and see if there was anything in the nonprofit that realm that would be a possibility.
This may extend even past just the wrestling, but do y'all do anything with alumni boosting? My high school I graduated more than 20 years ago, and they still reach out to all of the alumni and try to fundraise. In fact, this is last year for the school to even be open, but they're still fundraising for the students, whether it's beta clubs, whether it's athletics, whether it's band, wrestling, any of that. They've got someone who literally that's his full-time job. And so I don't know if y'all leverage any of the alumni as well, because as the years go by, regardless of how their economic status is when they're in school, it's typically different,
Sure.
later on in life.
Yeah.
We haven't really up to the program and what we do. I think we could do an effort from the school as a whole and maybe reaching out. It's, coming in as the new principal, this is my 3rd year, but I think that's an avenue we should take. With COVID and everything, so kind of lost that year, but definitely I think that could be lucrative, like beneficial for us, for sure. And just so you know, like when you're running a program, also take into account any funds that they're generating. You're also looking at paying for buses and food, meals, those kinds of things. So each of those programs fund themselves, basically. And since they don't have the gate, it makes it a little harder for sports like wrestling. Whereas basketball would generate a lot more money. Football would obviously have a lot more money. So he's buying uniforms because he's generating more money, because he has more players, things like that.
Okay. Any other questions?
I just have one other suggestion as far as fundraising goes. One other way the city might be able to support without directly funding is, have you thought about doing some kind of fundraiser, just like selling bottles of water, snacks, things like that? We got Fall Festival coming up, this block party. I don't know, perhaps, I guess that would be a Parks and Rec thing, that perhaps maybe we could grant you some tent space to fundraise without, directly giving you a fund.
Right,
Just
that would be great.
An idea.
Because our teams will be willing to assist with any of that. So any of those opportunities, if you can share them with us, there's obviously a procedure, but pretty much fundraisers are approved, as long as it's nothing putting the kids at risk or anything like that.
That would give our citizens, some visibility to the programs that are out there and who exactly they're supporting.
So it would help if we partnered and you guys made us aware of any of those opportunities going forward.
Any other questions?
I would just, just one thing, like when y'all have your homecoming, your homecoming game and stuff, maybe, put out the different organizations that are trying to raise funds to support their
Clubs or
organization.
groups.
Like, I know that with the wrestling, there are probably kids that do come with the come from wrestling, or like the mayor said, the alumni reach out to alumni wrestlers. I mean, they may have a vested interest in a successful wrestling program for the future. So, and I'm sure there's probably school records or somewhere of, the previous wrestlers, so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And one thing we do when we do have those in-school days, like homecoming, the big day, all of the clubs do get an opportunity to fundraise with the kids purchasing different things and different booths and things like that. But I agree, that's a good option as well.
And I know, aren't there weeks where y'all do different dress-up days
We do.
and stuff like that? One of them could be your favorite wrestler day.
Yeah.
Dress appropriately, though. I'm just saying, dress appropriately. Hey, don't look at me like that.
Hey, the kids would like it.
He's a big WWE fan. So.
Hey, the whole, no.
I think it goes without saying that, I coached ball here and ran leagues for 20 years. And when I wasn't working or coaching ball, I was fundraising. I got off work, I was fundraising. Got off work, I was out all the time.
Yeah.
And fundraising can be fun, it can be interesting, it can be very beneficial, but when you go out into the Laverne community and you've got your Laverne stuff on, it's like a guy told me, if he couldn't get $1, hey, he was happy with 50 cents. And I don't think we're telling you anything, because fundraising is tough.
Yeah.
There was times in my life with my kids, I just wrote a check.
And that's a lot of the
I
schools.
was tired of getting out, and anybody here would not agree with that. But when you've got groups like you've got, it's easy to come up here and ask the city or whoever for money. That's easy, but fundraising is tough. Like I said, getting into the Titans games and just standing on the corners, it's tough, especially post-COVID, like you said. Coming out of that was tough, and we understand.
Yeah.
But there again, we got a big budget, we've got limited funds, and, man, I love our high school. My son graduated from there. I remember a lot of things that we could go into details about, what it used to be like, but that's gone. I don't live in the past, so, but I hope through hard work and determination that you guys can, pull it off.
Yes, sir.
I'm done babbling, Mayor.
That's what happens when he gets a full stomach.
I have a question, sorry, and then I'll. So just from the band booster side, our funds are separate from, of course, the band. And we do participate in the community activities. So we are participating in the block party. We also did in the parade, we had attendance as well. So we do try to reach out in the community and things like that. The roadblocks are something that, when you mentioned, was something new, and since there is the liability and they have to be 18 and over, of course, us boosters and parents, we would like to do that. But we do try to reach out and do things that are in the community, because we know that even as a parent, my daughter's in band, has been in band all 4 years, and it does get pricey. So I know sometimes asking parents, hey, can you do this? They may not have it. But if there's any way that we can find out other things outside of community events, such as the roadblocks and things that we could participate in, that would be helpful as well. One of the biggest advantages we had this year that we don't have, well, we won't have in the future, is electronic funds. So cars and cash apps and things, that was one of the biggest ways that we were able to get money from concessions, because people don't carry cash. That's not going to be available to us anymore. So if we are able to participate in those things, such as the blocks and more community events, I think that would help the boosters as well. So
I can tell you how to make a bunch of money this weekend if you hustle the next 4 days, is get all your band parents and boosters and coaches and kids and gather up truckloads of stuff and bring it down to Stones River Road Saturday, 8 to 3, to the senior center. We're having a big yard sale. You can come down, set up tables and sell stuff, and just the more the merrier. So there's all kinds of ways to make that money.
Or kids get out in rake yards in the fall. I'm one that I rake my yard, and I would love to have a kid come do it, and I would pay a kid
It's tough.
to come do it. And get out and mow. They can work over the summer. I made my son do it, and I did it when I was in band.
So, any other questions for wrestling? Thank you, Coach. And then I don't have a name with this one, but I'm looking for an assistant coach from the Laverne High School softball.
Hello, I am LaShonda Roberts. I am a teacher at Laverne. I teach physics, and I also assist Coach Hope and Jans with the softball team. So we have some pretty big ticket items that we're looking to get fixed on our field. We are asking for a new tarp. Our current tarp has holes in it, so it is unusable. When we do use the tarp, it's pretty much like it's not there, and it causes the water to pool even the more, and it makes more work for us. So our last rainstorm, we couldn't even use it. So we are looking to replace the tarp. We are looking for a new scoreboard. Our scoreboard is outdated. Some of the bulbs don't work, and it costs hundreds of dollars to fix. And so we're looking for a new scoreboard. We'd like to get some dirt so we can level the field, the playing field. We are also looking for an indoor facility, just to have some place for our young ladies to practice when inclement weather happens and things like that. And just some miscellaneous things, creating a bullpen for our pitchers to warm up. Equipment and field supplies, irrigation systems, grass seed, loads of sand. So we have some things we need to do to really give our field a major overhaul. But our more important things that we're looking for is a softball tarp, scoreboard, and the dirt. We have done some fundraising things. Some of the things we've done is car washes. We do work concessions over at Cedar Park for the baseball games that happen. So we've done that as well. We have also reached out to the community, reached out to Walmart, waiting to hear back from them. And we just found that this was another way we could, hope to gather some funds so that we can get these things fixed and move forward towards a more successful season each year. So, any questions?
I got a question for
Yes.
David. What was the deal? I can't remember how we got dirt one time for like Vanderbilt or something.
Yeah, Vanderbilt was remodeling their field, and I can't remember if they donated it or we got it very little for a truckload, so it was like pennies on a dollar.
Yes, and the reason I asked David
Sure.
is he's the Park and Rec director. Have you reached out to Belmont, Vanderbilt? I'm drawing a blank on the other
I'll tell you who the
college.
good one to reach out to would probably be Warner's Construction. It's a business based out of Smyrna, but they do a lot of ball field renovations all throughout the United States. They can come in and take the dirt off the field and re-level one, but that's their main priority is ball fields, construction, maintenance, from top to bottom.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I was out there Friday, and I will say leveling is a big thing that's needed with this ball field because there's a lip on it that angles downward.
Yes.
So that is a big one. Were y'all able to find out how long ago the wood was put up? Because I
Not
know
sure.
it was, that wood is questionable if anything else.
Yes. Yes.
Now, this may be a Dr. Hatchett question, because I know she's enjoying being up here. You should just move in up the front podium. So, so I understand that schools don't, or the Rutherford County Schools doesn't fund all different sports, but the actual facilities, does the Rutherford County Schools not pay for that?
Facilities, yes. So some of these things, this was sent prior to me knowing, but some of these things we can request from the county. So, for example, not necessarily the dirt, but anything in terms of the wood or the actual facility. But as far as building a new hitting facility, that's strictly fundraising. Our boys do have something that they fundraise, and their program was pretty successful in the past. But some of those things, like not necessarily a tarp, but definitely anything with the facilities would be the county's responsibility. The scoreboard, typically, usually we reach out to banks such as Wilson Bank or something like that. Usually they might fund a scoreboard. It's going to be one of those larger corporations that would be able to put their name and things like that. So that's something we might want to reach out to Bridgestone or something like that to see if they'd be willing to help. Smyrna Ready Mix might be willing, but it's sometimes it's Smyrna, we're Laverne, so sometimes we get that. Even Sam Ridley, when we talk to them, they're like, well, we're Smyrna, you're Laverne, but we're like, you're right here. So, but those are some things we can request from the board.
I know Coca-Cola years ago used to, you see a lot of scoreboards at ball games, and they was put up by Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola is located in Laverne.
Right, so that's an option as well. to reach
David,
out
do
to.
you have any suggestions or ideas for these ladies about any of that stuff?
Yeah, I would suggest definitely reaching out to Lou Warner with Warner Construction and Warner Athletics.
Okay.
Lou can definitely point you in the right direction for any of your needs, whether it be infield mix, your safe coat, any of your supplies.
Okay.
He can either stock them or get in touch with somebody that's going to give you a discount on them. And he grew up in Laverne. I mean, he grew up in Smyrna. His family's from Smyrna, so he has an extensive baseball background. Very well known, very reputable, does amazing work. He does college fields. He's done several fields for us, several for Smyrna, Murfreesboro. He's got his hands in everything, so he'd definitely be a good contact for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
And I know you all didn't come here to try to get advice, but a bunch of heads, especially bald heads, it's better than one or two. So, because we're talking about a lot of money, but I do remember in 2006, my son was a senior, and he they unrolled that tarp out there one day for the girls.
Yeah,
Big family of snakes come out of that thing.
yeah, we had mice come out this year.
Yes, I've heard some about rats over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Outside.
yes, it was in the tarp outside, so, yes.
Those are some pretty big items, and
Yes.
like lady said, that's, you know, and just to be, and I'll probably make a lot of people mad, but that's okay. We invited some Rutherford County board members to be here. I talked to them, and
The whole board and Dr. Sullivan.
they gracefully, is that the right word, declined?
Some, yes.
Some did, yeah. So, because we wanted them to listen.
And we have made requests to the commissioners, just as far as renovations, which this would include some of those things as well. So that's kind of in the works to be discussed. Some of those things that were more like in the building, things that we need done that are more immediate needs. That's kind of what I'm working to get funded right now.
We do have now, after last election, we have 4 really good commissioners for Laverne who will fight for you. So you need to make sure you reach out to those 4 people.
Thank you.
They will, you know,
So
not
they're
say.
working with us now, yeah.
I'm sorry?
We're working with them now. They're
Good.
actually gonna come in and do some
Good.
projects for us this summer.
And I will get to you after this meeting. I don't know, do y'all know Sierra Washington, or not Washington, Franklin with Bridgestone? They reached out to me earlier today about joining a board they have that deals with community improvements, whether it's picking up trash, beautification, fundraising, different things like that. They mentioned some food trucks, but the fundraising portion may benefit all 3 groups
Sure.
and others. So I can get her contact information over to you, and you can disseminate it.
That'll be great.
So we've got car washes, Walmart concessions.
We've also done banner sponsorships where a business can pay $500 and have their banner hung. So we've had a few of those as well. What these fundraisers have been able to do is allow us to purchase new uniforms and, you know, get new balls and things like that. But, you know, these items are a little bit more of a reach. And so we're just seeking some additional assistance.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. I think Laverne is done.
I wouldn't
Okay.
leave just yet. I wouldn't leave just yet.
Well, actually, we're going to call for a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back and go through the fee schedule and everything else.
Whoa, wait a minute, you wouldn't let me have one.